Hello and welcome back to Mount & Blade Warband. Oh yeah, those words, they never really... I don't know. It's kind of a bit strange for me to say that after so many years, but there you go. I mean, obviously playing bannerlord for all this time, then going back to Warband. I don't know, it's kind of like seeing an old friend, I guess. It's kind of like that. I don't know. Not really something I'm that familiar with, but whatever the case, we are now going to be besieging Alberg Castle. And I was actually thinking to myself today, before I was thinking about what I should be recording, because obviously I'm recording Bannerlord, I'm recording Warband, I'm recording a lot of other stuff. I really just wanted to play Warband. It's really weird. I don't know why, because I played it for 8 years, right? 8 years before Bannerlord came out, and I was consistently, you know, in a couple of series, I was consistently saying stuff like, oh, I wonder what Bannerlord is going to be like, you know, I wonder what kind of features it's going to have. And obviously my curiosity was, you know, at an all-time high, you know, and they started to bring out footage of it, and they were saying that they revamped the entire engine, and it was just incredible. A lot of excitement, right? And I was thinking, wow, that's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun, and so on and so forth. And obviously, there are a couple of things, there are a couple of things that, in my opinion, could be done a little better in Bannerlord. And, I mean, obviously, it's still in early access. Kind of, I don't know. I'm not going to really talk about that too much, because there's a lot of things that I probably would have decided on differently. But it's up to them, obviously. They can do whatever they want to do. But basically, I was just really looking forward to, you know, jumping into Warband today. So I thought to myself, yeah, let's do some Warband, why not? And obviously in the previous episode, we just created our very own faction. And you could see here that I'm attempting to actually not fall off of the walls. That would be very, very nice indeed. I'm really surprised, actually, that my forces are taking so long to cleave through the opponent, because I have some good units. I don't have bad units at all. Bear in mind, I only have 62 units, by the way. So if we start to lose more and more units, I mean, I've lost 4 so far, and we've eliminated 23. I really need to get up there, guys. I really need to get up there. Can we please actually start moving forward? This is one of the things that, as I said in the previous episode as well, it grinds my gears quite hard. Because look at this, I'm literally moving forward. I'm holding W right now, okay? I'm holding W. I really want to get myself up there, but my AI friends here are basically just standing in the same exact position the entire time. They're not moving, and they only move when there are no enemies. And that's really kind of frustrating, because you really want to make sure that you have enough space, right? You want your allies to make space so that extra units can actually move up the ladder, you know, move up the ladder and actually contribute to the fight. But that doesn't actually happen most of the time. They just tend to stand there weirdly. So yeah, that grinds my gears a bit, but it's alright. It's alright. We basically just want to do as much damage as possible to these archers, just try and eliminate them as best we can. I am oh no, wait a minute. Am I dead? I'm running. I'm running. Wait a minute. No. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to die. No, I don't want to die. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. I could have easily won that. Could have easily won that. See, now that's exactly the reason. And look at this. Now we've got these guys coming in here. All right. Wait a minute. I think I can probably take these guys on. I'm at 44% HP. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, we could take these guys on, right? Can we? Oh, now look at this. Now I'm actually a bit worried. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. This is out of the frying pan and into the fire. Isn't that what they say? Indeed. All right. Let's try our best not to get murdered this time. That's exactly what I'm talking about, though. I have shown you many Bannerlord sieges. We've gone behind enemy lines. And usually what happens? What actually happens? I'm asking you right now. What actually happens? I mean, obviously you can't answer me right now, but let's just say that you can. And you're going to say, well, usually I go behind enemy lines and the AI is just kind of chilling. They're just kind of chilling. They're not actually taking much notice of me. And I am able to do massive damage to their forces most of the time. And then when I run a little bit further away from their assigned positions in the defense, you know what happens? They stop following me. Yeah, they stop following me completely, and they run back to their assigned positions. I can pull out my ranged weapon, whatever that might be, and then I shoot them in the back, or I shoot them when they lower their shield or something along those lines. So yeah, generally that's the reason why in Warband that doesn't happen. Actually, in Warband, when you get mobbed, you get mobbed. And they're probably going to pursue you to the ends of the earth until you're dead. Or at the very least until they're dead. You know, they kind of assign... I'm not sure why that's even different, to be honest. Because for me personally, it is frustrating, obviously. It is frustrating to get eliminated behind enemy lines. You know, you're trying to do your very best to help your forces to win, obviously. I mean, you know, of course you're going to try and do that. But obviously in that situation, when I was behind enemy lines in the castle just then, I can't do anything about it, you know? I have a two-handed. I can continue swinging at the enemy, but they're obviously going to be attempting to block me as much as they possibly can. Ooh, this is really good, actually. Wait a minute. Hello? Okay. I'm super surprised that they gave me so many units. What? Especially, wow, veterans as well? Are you serious? Okay, that is amazing. Gonna be taking these guys. Thank you very much. Okay. I am really surprised. Right, I guess this was a blessing in disguise. This was absolutely a blessing in disguise. I could not ask for better, to be honest. I couldn't ask for better. So that's exactly what we're going to do. There we go. And then we're just going to take the rest of the loot. There we are. Well, not too much of the loot, obviously. But yeah, now we're going to go back to Wurcheg. I know, it seems a bit weird for me to go back to Wurcheg right now, but I am going to do that. And we're going to just place these guys in the garrison. I mean, there's not much more for me to do. I think that's absolutely amazing. The, I don't know, the coincidence, if you could call it that. The coincidence of literally just being handed free units for us to basically just go, hey, you know what? Just going to slap them into the garrison. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Going to have even more defenders here. And bear in mind that in Warband, obviously there are a couple of faults in the AI, you know, like I was talking about before. You know, it's not really, you know, the only thing, them being a little bit stupid sometimes, it feels a bit rarer than in bannerlord. I'm not sure. It feels a little bit more uncommon for that to happen. But more specifically, when we're attempting to do a little something and then it doesn't work just purely for the fact that the AI was really aggressive, that's kind of what you want, you know? I mean, that's kind of what the enemy wants, should I say. You know, it's not what I want, obviously, but it's generally what they want to do. They want to make sure that they defend themselves as best as they can, and in the case of the archers, they definitely did that. They did that. Obviously, in bannerlord, that wouldn't have ended the siege, and we probably would have achieved victory because I was eliminated or whatever. So, yeah, generally, I'm going to have to get used to that. That's one of those things that I'm going to have to get used to and very much watch out for, because in larger sieges later down the line, I really cannot afford to get eliminated in that scenario. You know, it's not a good look at all. Not a good look. So I will try my best to try and survive a little bit better. So I'll play a bit more cautiously. I'm just really excited to kind of get into the action, because you can see quite clearly here. Look at what's happening to me again. I'm stuck on the ladder. This is a classic. Absolute classic thing to see in a bannerlord playthrough. And oh my, please don't let me slip off the ladder. Oh yeah, that's a nostalgia effect and a half, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Okay, good. See, now, that's exactly my point. I couldn't do anything about that. That's the funny thing. I couldn't do anything about that. It is my units that are just completely pushing me off the edge. And that's it. I can't do anything about it. I was pushing against them. I was trying to counteract their force, but no, that doesn't make any difference apparently. Yeah, we're also not having a very easy time of getting into the battlements this time as well, as you can see. I'm not entirely sure what's even going on with our forces right now. We are apparently having a really difficult time actually just breaching the random enemies at the front there. That's kind of strange. I wouldn't have expected it to be so difficult, considering we actually did eliminate 137 units. I'm getting shot consistently as well by this guy. He can go away, thank you. And we're losing even more units. Can we please just go ahead and take this? Come on, guys. Come on, you can do this. This is easy. This is a castle. I was about to say this is a town. I mean, basically, they've already taken a town, you know. They've already taken a town. This should be a piece of cake. This should be an absolute piece of cake for them. Really should be, but oh well. Never mind. Anyway, basically what we're also going to do is we're going to try and manipulate the AI in a way to make it so that they don't attack our thieves. And how do you do that, you ask? Oh well, yeah, I mean, if you're new to the game, or if you're new to generally playing Mount and Blade or whatever, then obviously a good tip is basically just to focus on numbers. Especially in Warband. If you focus on numbers in Warband, you're going to have a perfectly fine time. So you basically just slap as many units as you can into the garrison, and that's it. That's all you really need to do, because the AI mostly only takes into account the amount of units that are in the garrison. They don't actually, you know, do like an analysis of the strength of the unit. So, for example, you don't need to, you know, you don't need to have like I don't know, 500 Nord Huskarls or something like that. You don't really need that at all. Basically, the best thing that I can suggest is me not dying here, please. There we go. Okay, yeah, thank you. They're all jumping off the edge. That's really funny. But yeah, the best thing I can suggest is literally just going. I think someone actually mentioned this in the comments as well, and I was like, yes, you know what is up, indeed. But someone mentioned this. Basically, it's just putting as many low-level units in the garrison as possible, and I'm talking about recruits here. So if you go around the place and you've done a decent job of doing tasks for the villages and so on and so forth, obviously you want to try to, at least in Warband, you want to try and do as many tasks as possible, because you're going to be gaining, I mean, in bannerlord as well, this actually does make a difference, but generally it's a lot easier to do this in in Warband, because if you have a massive amount of relation with a particular village, you're going to be rewarded tenfold by the amount of units you can recruit, in comparison to remaining at a kind of indifferent relation level. So it's a good idea to do at least 2 tasks if you can. Try to rid the village of bandit infestations, going into taverns, helping farmers with, again, infestations, and so on and so forth. So doing those kinds of things is really going to make a huge difference to your overall ability to recruit volunteers. And you don't really need to be super crazy about this, but if you really want to, you can focus on a handful of villages, and I'm talking about maybe something like 3 or 4 villages around your main area. So for me personally, that would I'm going to recruit more of these prisoners. This is absolutely fantastic, by the way. But yeah, basically, if I were to do the standard, so if I were to do the standard progression, which I usually would always do if I'm not going to rush to create my own faction. Obviously, I was wanting to create my own faction as fast as I possibly could, and generally that is going to put you at a bit more of a risk of, well, absolutely dying. So yeah, that that's maybe not the best idea. I'm going to have this for myself, of course, and we are otherwise going to be managing the garrison. We're going to be putting a bunch of units in here as well, and there we have it. But yes, so for example, let's say let's say actually you start in Swadian territory, right? So you're going to start in Swadian territory like I did. Well, I kind of started around there, and I was basically, you know, running around with Swadian units for the most part. And yeah, so let's say you start there. And let's say that you're kind of spending most of your time kind of running around, I don't know, Suno. Let's just say, as an example, Suno. And so what are you going to do? Well, you're going to try to maximize the amount of relation that you have gained with Asgad, Vadar, Iandar, Rulands, Ibiran, and Ribule villages. Basically anything around this area right here, you're obviously going to try to do that, so that whenever you need forces, you're going to come to deep Praven-ish, Suno-ish territory, you know, in Swadia, and you're going to try and recruit as many units as you can. So, for example, if you take a castle, let's say you're at war against the Rhodoks, you take Ergalon Castle and you're a vassal of the Swadians, you go over to your village farms, or your unit farms is what they're technically called, kind of, some of the time among the community. But generally, you go over to your little place where you can recruit en masse, and you just go, boom, I've got 50 recruits, I've got 60 recruits, or whatever. And then you go over to Ergalon Castle and you put those units in the garrison. And if you have around 200, 300, maybe 400, 500, if you want to be safe, super safe, so put 400, 500, maybe even more than that in the garrison there, you're going to be absolutely fine. And units are, well, should we say enemy units are going to have an extremely difficult time actually deciding to go into the siege. And if they do go into the siege, well, that's fine. They can go into the siege if they want to. They can absolutely do that. And you don't have a problem with that either, because let's face it, if they want to, you know, besiege something that is incredibly well defended by a mass of recruits, then they can do that. That's going to waste their time. It's going to allow you to do whatever you want to do. In the meantime, it's going to be super, super useful for you. So yeah, generally, that's a good way to go about things. But again, it's all about sort of a manipulation of the AI and how they treat numbers versus unit strength. In regards to Bannerlord, however, that's different. Obviously, Bannerlord is coming out on consoles, which is... I'm not sure what to really make of that, because I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great that they're allowing more people to play the game. But it's not actually fully released. You got to bear that in mind. It's not actually fully released. It is still in... it's still in early access. And so it's still in active development, obviously. It's not fully finished or anything like that. But, yeah. So, generally, I think that if you are going to be playing Bannerlord for the first time, you got to remember, you got to kind of think to yourself, you know, whenever I take a castle or a town or something like that, you got to think about combat strength is actually taken into account as far as I'm aware. I think combat strength is taken into account about with units in the garrison, so it's no longer about numbers as much. But I could be wrong about that. I haven't actually done that deep an analysis of it. I basically just put as many units in there as I can, or generally just try to work with what I have at the time. And if I have a mod, like for example improved garrison, then all the better. That's really, really nice and easy. But in the case of my current series, which is the Land of Seeker, I don't have improved garrison in that mod, so I kind of have to rely on my own forces, my own vassals and things like that, actually placing units in the garrison for me, which they actually often do, which is very nice of them. And otherwise, I just have to try and rescue people from various attacks, and that's pretty much it. Oh, we are getting absolutely murdered by the Rhodoks. Okay, wait a minute. I'm actually going to do something maybe a little bit crazy here. Going to move my forces away from the front line because the enemy crossbowmen are absolutely tearing us apart, and I am standing here by myself. This is not a good look. Okay, there we go. I am basically just wanting to go around here. I'm wanting to be a bit sneaky, sneaky. And then what we're going to do is we're literally just going to charge our units back in. And the crossbowmen will hopefully all perish. Yes, please all perish. That would be wonderful. Yes, but indeed, it is, I think, slightly easier to gain relation in Bannerlord than it is in Warband as well. with villages, that is, and indeed with towns as well. And of course, it is making it a little easier to actually recruit units to begin with too, because in Bannerlord you do have the ability to recruit from towns, whereas in Warband you'd probably need to download a mod or something along those lines to be able to do that, because some mods do add that capability, so that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, generally it's all going to be about villages in Warband, which I actually quite like. I like that dynamic because it basically makes it so that villages are really important. Because I don't know whether you've noticed, but if a village has been raided, you can't actually recruit from that, which is pretty cool in my opinion. But I'm not sure if the AI also follows the same rules, which is a bit of an issue. As I've said multiple times in the past, Warband AI sometimes has a bit of a magic touch to certain things. Sometimes they're able to pull units out of, well, thin air, and that was actually what Bannerlord was looking to address. They were actually looking to address that quite heavily with the changes to the AI and how they would work. And in earlier versions of Bannerlord, they made it very clear that the AI was following the same rules. So clear, in fact, that you would be able to, if you actually defeated one of them, you'd be able to very much push the advantage. And I think this is very much demonstrated in my Khuzait Khanate series. I have 80 videos or something along those lines in that playlist. And it's incredible to see. It's incredible to see how much you can actually do with... well, basically just taking advantage of the enemy being so incredibly weak, because what they were doing is I would destroy a vassal, I'd destroy their army, I'd completely eliminate them. They would go away, they'd be defeated, and then all of a sudden they'd come back, and they'd come back with 30 recruits, and that's it. And that is exactly the reason why it was changed, because obviously at that point you're going to be thinking to yourself, oh, these guys, I can just farm them endlessly for renown, for experience, for gear, and for money. Because at that point, also, the amount of money that you could plunder from vassals was uncapped. So technically, you could also gain a massive amount of money through those actions too. But of course, that's all changed now. So it's very, very different. Unfortunately, I don't know whether I should say unfortunately about that, but yeah, kind of unfortunately, because I actually thought that was really cool how the AI was basically the same as the player. I thought that was really nice, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not so nice. It very much depends. Okay, so Albert Castle has been defended, as you can see right there. Our first siege defense, pretty cool. I'm actually just going to wait here for a little bit of extra time. I'm really kind of... I'm not best pleased, actually, about the fact that we don't have many places to recruit units from, which is also the reason why it's kind of a bit harsh to start your faction so far away from where you were mostly doing a lot of your relation building. So, yeah, this is a little bit iffy. But anyway, we're going to go in here against the bandit infestation. I was in a bit of two minds about this, but I'm thinking if we can complete this, we're going to be able to refuse their reward, we're going to be able to get more relation, which in turn will give us more units, and I'm very much hoping that we'll be able to do that too, because basically getting as many units as possible is pretty much the name of the game right now, and I might be a bit too cautious, which I think is possibly a bit of a disadvantage on my part at the moment. I feel like I'm being a bit too hesitant, so I might need to be, well, let's just purely say it, I might need to be extremely brave or foolish. Extremely foolish, yeah, indeed. I might be needing to be a bit foolish here and there, because leaving these fiefs with literal, what, 10 units, right? 10 units in the garrison. That is not a good look. That is not a good idea at all. But sometimes it's necessary, you know? Sometimes it is necessary to get what you need. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do now. So let's just recruit some people. I don't really want to recruit Vagiers, but this is basically the only people I can even get to join my join my armies at the moment, so yeah, because we're the closest to them, so we're just gonna do that. Oh wow, really? There's another infestation? Okay, that's amusing. Alright, well, I guess we'll just do that. We'll do the Vaegia's job for them, I suppose. Yeah, I would actually really like to see that implemented in Bannerlord as well, by the way, where tasks are actually undertaken by vassals. I think that would be really cool, because then what you could do is basically you'd be, I mean, of course, that's going to be a little bit frustrating in general, so maybe it's not a good idea, but, I mean, I don't know. Generally, I feel like it would be pretty cool if village problems and maybe to a certain extent town problems were sorted out by the lords of the village or town in question. So, you know, for example, they need, I don't know, a simple quest like they need grain. All right, they need grain. So the lord is going to go and get some grain. You know what I mean? I feel like that could actually be kind of cool, because obviously it's not going to do that right away, but it would be really nice to actually have a bit more, I don't know, a bit more of an alive feeling to the lords themselves, because as it stands right now, they don't really care about the tasks, which is kind of strange. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not something that they really should be doing, because they are indeed lords. Oh, what? This guy? He's defected? Okay, hello there. All right, that's fantastic. But yeah, I think it would actually be pretty cool if a lord would do those tasks, but of course, maybe they're too high on their horse, you know? Maybe they're too high on their horse. Maybe they're thinking, oh, you know what? I am too amazing for me to do this lowly task. You know, it could be very well what that's all about. So maybe it's not even necessary. Also, this is really, really funny. And this is actually one of the more controversial things that I feel Bannerlord introduced. This is a massive difference. You see how this castle is besieged right now, and you see how I was able to walk into Albert Castle for free? In Bannerlord, you can't do that. In Bannerlord, you have to break through the siege line, and as a result, you lose a percentage of your army breaking through. And in earlier versions, this would be really, really annoying, mostly because when you would break through the lines, you would then have the unfortunate side effect sometimes for the AI to decide, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this siege anymore. Bye. And then they would basically just leave. And so you spend, I don't know, 40 or 50 of your relatively strong units, right? Relatively strong units, breaking through their lines only for the enemy to think, oh, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And so you basically just lost 40 to 50 units for nothing. I think they've changed that now, though. So that's why I said in earlier versions. So, yeah, I think they have changed that now. So obviously it's not as annoying and terrible, because that was really bad. You know, I can't even tell you, like, when I was first doing some siege defenses, I thought to myself, oh, it's actually a siege defense, this is really rare, because it was actually pretty rare at the time. You know, being able to get into a siege defense was really unheard of in some of the earlier versions, because the AI was just not aggressive enough, and they just weren't committing to any kind of military action in regards to sieges. And in regards to doing that while the player was inside the garrison, that is. And so siege defenses would be very difficult to actually get on camera, for me at least. And eventually, obviously, we were able to do it, but you can imagine how amazing that would have been for me to break in through their lines, to be so super excited to actually do a siege defense for once. And then the AI just goes, yeah, you know what, see ya. I mean, it was pretty funny, to be fair, but at the time, I was not best pleased, considering, you know, spending all that time, you know, leveling up your units and everything, and then having them all disappear into the void, as it were. But yeah, anyway, there we go. We were able to defeat this guy. Super easy to defeat the Nords now. They're really very much super, super weak, which is exactly what you'd expect, of course. And Katrine has advanced to level 9. I don't really care too much, Katrine. I'm terribly sorry. She has 7 in inventory management. Yeah. Yeah, this is the reason why Katrine is a little bit of a weird companion, in my opinion, because while she's, in my opinion, perfectly fine, and she could easily become a pretty good heavy cavalry unit or something like that, I'm actually going to say that she can just leave. She can become a really, really good, you know, heavy cavalry or something along those lines. The Kingdom of Aegeus have taken Ismarala Castle. That's really sad. I really wanted to take that myself, but obviously I'm trying to stabilize my region at the moment. But yeah, anyway, yeah, she can become that, but obviously that requires a lot of time investment and does need her to be in your party for a pretty considerable amount of time to earn the experience needed. And in that time, you could be giving someone else the experience. You know, you could be giving someone else the experience that is actually going to be somewhat useful to your cause. In other words, I'm talking about things, people like Marnid or Borcha or someone else, you know. So it's a little bit iffy, you know, a little bit iffy. So, well, doesn't really matter. Anyway, Watchman, come to me, sir. Thank you, thank you. Yes, we're just going to try and recruit as many mercenary units as we can get our hands on and basically just put them into the garrison as best we can. There we go. Do I have any Swadians? No, I don't have any Swadians at all. I'm actually thinking maybe I should take some Vagiers just to kind of balance out my army, because you can see exactly what's going on here. It's pretty awful, right? However, I'm going to do something now, all right? I'm going to do something. This is a vassal who has defected from the Saranids. Now, oh, we've got two? Oh, okay, we've got two. All right, Nelag, and who? Krahask, right? Nelag and Krahask. Okay, so in my opinion, it is possibly a good idea for you to take a look at the lords in question that want to join you through the notes menu, right? So you probably want to do that yourself, maybe. I don't know. It very much depends on what you want to do. But as you can see, Lord Krahask, he is a prisoner of the Rodox? No, he isn't. That was 38 days old. Okay, yeah, that. Well, he's not a he's not a prisoner anymore. Now, here's the thing. I actually don't know where he's from, because I don't know this guy at all. I think he's from the. Is he from the Vagiers? Lord Krahask? I don't know. But we also have Lord Nelag here. He was also a prisoner of the Rodox. Okay, interesting. He has 600 renown, so this guy's a lot better than Krahask, as you can see right there. I have no idea what kind of personality these two have, but he might be Vagiers, actually, according to this. Well, maybe he's from the Khanate? I really have no idea. I forget nowadays, you know, what these guys are from and where they're from exactly. So let's see. We know for certain that Nelag is really good. So I'm going to say, yeah, there we go. You may have heard of my ill treatment at the hands of King Yaraglak. You have a reputation as one who treats his vassals well. I have 0 of them, sir. I have 0. Yes, indeed. I would be honored to accept your pledge. All right. Yeah, we're basically just going to be taking both of these guys. They're both Vagiers. Oh, okay, that's all right, I guess. A little bit worried about that, actually. A little bit worried about that. And the reason why I'm worried about that is because I really do not want to be attacked by the Vagiers right now. I would very much like to prevent that from happening. So if they do attack me, I will be livid. And I will exclaim, "Oh no! That is not good," or something along those lines. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so yeah, Albert Castle, is that actually under siege, or is that just a remnant of the previous siege? No, that is just a remnant. Okay, absolutely fine. Leave me alone, Vagiers. Thank you very much. Please don't declare war against me. There we go. There's the wonderful wages, 5,100. Very, very nice indeed. My dye works at Rivercheg is still providing us a massive amount. Super, super cool to see that. And otherwise, wow, a lot of people from the Vagiers here. We might be even, you know, we might even be able to fight the Vagiers, to be honest. They really don't have a very strong army at all. The only strong army that I saw right there was Yaroglek himself. So personally, I feel like I'd probably be able to do quite well against them. Oh, hello there. King Ragnar is right here. 122 units. Okay, King Yaroglek, where are you? Where is he? I don't want to accept this peace agreement right now. I guess I can just do a fight against this fellow, but I'm really worried about the nighttime. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Are you serious? Yeah. They brought a friend. I thought to myself, is he far enough away, you know? Is he far enough away for me to actually go in here? Turns out, no. No, he wasn't far enough away. Okay, well, if I die here, then I guess that's just going to be that. But I don't think this is too bad. We're going to tell my forces to charge in here because I want to eliminate these vassals. They're doing some really weird stuff right now. Look at these guys. Not entirely sure why they're even doing this, to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to try and eliminate their horses if I can. There we go. There's one down. And there come all of their units. How many Huskars do they have? This is one of them. We've eliminated one already. Fantastic. And I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to do this because they're... Oh, no, 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 no. Don't kill my horse. Don't kill my horse. Don't kill my horse. Oh, my. I'm dead. Yep. I'm dead. Okay, I'm going to get out my shield. My shield is great. My shield is fantastic. Protect me, shield. Thank you. Okay, that's all I've got. Okay, that's all I've got. So let's try and defend. Let's try and defend as much as I possibly can. And there you go. All right. So now I should be able to leave because we've actually eliminated a lot of the enemy. Yep, there we go. As you can see. Haha. See ya. Oh, that was a funny one, wasn't it? All right, yeah. Can't a guy literally just go over to Swadian territory and recruit some people? Really? Yes, indeed, indeed. Oh well. Okay, so at least we managed to do something there. Oh, that was a close one. But that's actually a pretty cool. In my opinion, at least, I think that's a pretty cool mechanic, being able to inflict a lot of damage to a particular vassal or in a particular battle, and then being able to leave. I think that's actually quite nice because it basically says you're powerful enough so that you killed these many units, and then you can basically just go, okay, I'm gonna go. Lord Nelag, are you serious? Look at him. He literally just got himself taken prisoner. What a classic. Okay, so Albert Castle has been besieged by the Nords. Right. Okay, I guess I'm going to be heading back up there then. Should I? I think I should be able to get back up there in time. Oh, who's this? Are you serious? Are you really? Are you? What? I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to this guy. Really. I can't even imagine why he would do something like this. This is incredibly rude. This is very bad manners on his part. Indeed, indeed. Okay, well, I should be fine. I mean, well, to be fair, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, because this battlefield is looking mighty awful, so I really do not know. Maybe we're going to just bait them a little bit into the valley, and then we're just going to tell our forces to charge in, like we are doing right now. Is this a Rodok? Yeah, it is. Oh, this is kind of bad. This is kind of bad for me. Kind of bad for me for a multitude of reasons. Also, my horse is crippled as well, by the way, so this is really bad, because that means that it's going to be moving super slowly. It's going to be a lot easier for enemies to kill me, but I can only hope that maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to do a little bit of extra damage here and there. And these fellows with their two-handed pole arms are looking a little bit scary, so I'd like to try and prevent them from actually dismounting me if at all possible, but as I say, my horse is moving really slowly right now as well. But it should be okay. Can we just kill these guys, please? Can we just kill these guys? There we go. Veteran spearman. All right, okay. Well, that's obviously done now, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. And as you can see, we've only lost 2 units. I very much hope that they are not Swadian knights that we've lost. Because if they're Swadian knights, then that is terrible. We can only hope that it's going to be just some of the recruits that we've gotten or something like that. But you can see what I mean, though. It's very much a delicate balancing act in regards to going from friendly territory into, well, through enemy territory and then into another neutral territory just to try and recruit. And obviously in the meantime, we're not going to be able to just stand in a town and recruit from there. Whereas in Bannerlord, you can actually do that. But yeah, look at this. That was really nice. We only lost 2 recruits as a result of this. I was really surprised to actually see anyone here, to be honest. I wouldn't have expected to see any vassals in this particular area, especially not a Rodok vassal. Super weird. Anyway, these guys can all level up. Fantastic. And we can now move on. All right, let me see. Hopefully I'm going to get there in time. Lord Nelag is being incredibly irritating. I don't even know. Oh, he's actually already gone in there. How many? Oh, 67 versus 132. But yeah, you can see here, I don't have to break in. I don't have to break in. I don't lose any units. I can join the battle straight away. And yeah, they were obviously going to be able to take this, but I am going to try and prevent them from doing so. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the same exact strategy that we did before, where we're just basically going to tell my forces just to hold back here. Just a little bit. Because these are... Oh, wait, no, these are Nords, right? Oh, these are Nords. Oh, no, we should just hold position here then instead. Because I was thinking we were still fighting Rodoks for some reason. Okay, there you go. Yeah, because Rodoks, obviously, crossbowmen, the low walls, they're basically super vulnerable. Our defenders, that is. And it's going to be a lot easier for the enemy to actually deal damage to us. But as it is right now, we should be fine. Are we going to be fine, actually? I don't know. We're kind of... We're not in a good place. I don't like this. I don't like this positioning. I don't like this positioning. So I'm just going to call my units back a little bit. Just a little. And I'm going to try and do some damage myself. Here we go, here we go. Okay, now I can tell my guys to charge in. And now I can do some damage myself, which is exactly what we want because, well, let's face it, I'm probably the best unit on the battlefield. I know, that sounds like I have a massive ego, but... In fact, it might be true, because I am generally going to be a little bit more efficient than the AI, possibly. But, yeah, we'll see, Maybe if I can just survive this will be good. Can I... Oh, see now, this is also the issue. Your friends standing in front of you. They are preventing me from dealing damage. Which is really terrible. It is. Okay, here we go. Come on now. Oh, I should stand on the other side. Oh, I should have stood... Ah, yeah, I should have stood on the other side. I'm an idiot. Okay. Yeah, I should have definitely done that. That would have made much more sense. Okay, I'm just going to move forward here just to try and block some of their damage. And then I'm just going to get behind them. There we go. And the enemy is coming again. I just need to be sure to make sure that my people are holding position. We really do not want them to charge out there randomly. And I'm just going to continue dealing damage with my overhead slashes here. This is just absolutely... the intensity of having to defend and recruit at the same time. Because in Bannerlord, what you can actually do is, if you wanted to, if you had enough strength to be able to sustain any kind of attack or defend against any kind of attack, at least initially, after you've taken the fief, if it's a town, you can basically just stand there. You can just stand there and you can recruit every couple of days from within the town itself. And if you have a decent relation with the town, then you're going to be absolutely fine, and you're not going to be having too many difficulties with that. And you can also recruit from the tavern in a bit of a pinch too. Whereas here, you can only recruit from the tavern, and that's only if you get a bit lucky with the amount of units that they could possibly have. One of my Swadian knights literally just went out there and died. What a classic. What a classic. That is certainly not what I wanted to see. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, we have achieved victory, and it was, I think, mostly in part due to my positioning on the side there. I mean, not the victory itself, obviously, but I'm talking about the efficiency with which we were able to get the victory done. Because without me standing on that one side, I would have been able to do so much less damage. That's actually highlighting a point. For those of you that may be new to playing Warband or Bannerlord or whatever, it basically holds true for pretty much any Mount and Blade game. Positioning is extremely important, and I'm not even talking about just melee, I'm talking about everything. So, talking about archery, thrown weapons, whatever. Putting yourself in a dangerous situation, obviously you've seen me do that in this very episode. Putting yourself in that situation, not a good idea. You want to try to kind of keep a good level head at most of the time, you know, as much as you possibly can, of course, and then just taking advantage of things when they pop up. That's pretty much the best thing that you can really do. Otherwise, Jeremus has leveled up, which is great. So let's get another point in intelligence, and we're going to go for some more pathfinding here, as I said before. There we go. And then we're just going to increase his one-handed skill. I am going to give him a crossbow in the end as well, so that he can actually have a ranged solution to a variety of problems, hopefully. And otherwise, we're just going to continue increasing our charisma for the moment as well. And otherwise, really wish athletics would actually increase my HP, but of course that doesn't do that in this one. In bannerlord it does. So yeah, what do I want to go for? Well, there's nothing, right? There's nothing apart from athletics. I could go for shield, but that basically makes no sense. So we'll just go for this. There we go. All right, fantastic. So we have still 20 units around about there. I'm going to make my way over to Wurcheg. I don't know where these extremely idiotic vassals of mine are. They got themselves taken prisoner super easily. I assume the person that just raided our village nearby, I assume that one is the person that actually defeated one of our vassals. So we're probably going to have to go over there and see what he's doing and actually try to rescue him or something like that. I did just go in here. Okay, yeah, let me just go and just recruit these guys. Go into the garrison, just put them in there. Thinking maybe I'll just take a couple of units of the Vagiers out of the garrison here. I might take the Vagier veterans or the horsemen. I think the horsemen could probably be a decent solution for us at the moment, because we do have a lot of cavalry. Having some archers might be kind of useful too, but maybe not. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe we should just go for things like caravan guards. Yeah, let's just go for caravan guards, Vagier horsemen, and then we'll just, you know, just take those guys. That seems pretty decent. There's also a tournament here, which I will be doing, but for now, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.